Hi, welcome back. Today is just going to be a very short video, just a quick chat about Splash Up. Now, some of you have purchased the download version of the pattern, and you'll find that in the pattern itself, it's going to have a lot of pieces that you need to stick together. So you'll have pieces like, this is glue edge 3. So this used to have glue edge 3 on it, but I've since cut it off. So that's the best way that I find to do it, is to cut it off. And then you just line it up, okay, which I'm not going to be able to do on camera. Now, once you've lined it up, you can do, some people will use a glue stick and they'll just glue it across. Others will use a washi tape. Now, we use washi tape because it is literally paper. So it won't melt under your iron. If you've ever had that happen before, you've gone to iron something and it's melted. You don't want that. You don't want it stuck to your fabric. You don't want it stuck to your iron. You don't want it anywhere near your stuff. The other option is to sew it. So I often don't find the washi tape because I have two small children who like to steal all the good stuff. So I sew it. So see how these two are connected? I actually put my two pieces right sides facing, hold up to the light, and then I sew right across. So usually when it's, because it's 80 GSM, it's not a computer paper, weight paper, you can see where the light is when you've got the light shining down from the sewing machine itself, and just sew it across, open it up, and you're done. The other option is to lay it out like this, and then you could sew on top of it if you feel more comfortable doing it that way. Right, so that's to do with the pattern. Right, that's the printable pattern. You'll also find in the printing option, you have an option to send that file off to a printer and have them print it for you on A0. If you hate having to stick pages together, I definitely recommend the A0. Now, I have done one quilt before, as you know. I've done one quilt top already. It was a lot of work to stick all those pages together. I think there's already been a few people in the group. They are aware. And they've done it. But if you are wanting it to be a little bit quicker, you can print out an A0, and that's what it comes out like. Right, so opening this up a little bit, you can see how big some of these pieces are. Right, I've treated myself and I printed out the A0 version this time because I didn't want to be gluing papers together again. Right, now when you do glue the papers, depending on which one you choose, if you choose the washi tape or doing the sew method, when you go and peel the paper off, be very mindful, because you can pull a little bit too hard and break some stitches, because you'll have, obviously this will be sewed in, so you'll need to cut that string, or, you know, with the paper you need to be a little bit more gentle when you're ripping it off. Sew stitch, make sure your sew stitch is at 1.5 mil or less. Depending on your machine, mine goes from 1.5 mil straight down to 1, so I don't have it in between. A lot of people do it at 1.2. Other than that, other handy little tools would be clips. And I also treated myself, and I actually do not know where I put them because I work in chaos. There's these really thin pins. They actually remind me of, you know, those acupuncture pins, how skinny they are, that's what they remind me of. Not that I want to think about acupuncture right now, but they've got like they're a quilter's pin. If I find them, I hope I find them, I will be able to show you next time. Another thing is keeping your fabrics neat. Now, if you're anything like me and work in a very small space, and I work in an I literally work on the kitchen table. So, you know, we all eat in the lounge room now because I've taken over the kitchen. But these little containers are really handy. So I did the first half of the quilt, like literally just having a pile of fabrics here and just having numbers clipped to them, because that's what I do. I put numbers clipped to it so I know what fabric's what. Halfway through the quilt, I completely didn't know Arthur from Martha. So I ended up buying these, and these weren't originally for quilting, I thought these were bigger, and they were going to be for to organize my pantry. But they're not too small. So now I actually put fabrics in them. Obviously a lot. Promise, it's a lot neater than this normally. Here's another one I prepared. So normally it will be like file until I start actually sewing. Here's one of my old, see, just torn up little pieces of paper. I know it looks like 81, it's actually 18. Torn up little piece of paper, just clip to the fabrics. By the time you're a third of the way through, you'll know what colours each of the fabrics are anyway. All right. Other luxuries you might want is one of these things. All right. This is a light bulb, which I can't turn on now because this one actually needs to be plugged in. To put to make sure that your fabric actually covers the whole section. So when you are, so instead of using the light, which is what I was doing, and you have two fabrics, so I'm just going to grab two random fabrics, because not like I don't have random fabrics just sitting around. You know, you got two of your fabrics, you pop them on, you know, you've got your, let's just pretend that fold there is the line, you know. So instead of doing this, where you're holding it up to the light, just make sure that they're both over the line. You just hold it, literally put it on the light board, and you can see through a lot easier. But that's a luxury. I do know they've got them on Amazon. If you buy from Amazon, I bought from Temu because I shouldn't, but I do. It's addictive. So the option, other, of course, rotary blades or scissors. I don't measure an exact 1/4 of an inch seam. I eyeball it. You know, once you've been doing it long enough, you go, yep, that's 1/4 of an inch. Done. Right? Other than that, I think that's all I really need to tell you. Oh, you also have the colouring page as well. If you do anything at all, if you can just get your colour map, if you're sticking to the colours, get your colour map printed out, because it is handy sometimes. Sometimes your brain starts playing tricks on you when you're further in, you're like, oh my god, what am I doing? You can always just refer to the colour map. The other fun thing about the colour map is that once I am done with the second quilt, I am considering cutting these sections out. So I could potentially make one that's sort of A0 size, A1 size, sorry. All you need to do is cut along oh my gosh, so crooked. Cut along these lines and then add your 1/4 inch seam on the fly. So that gives you a second pattern in a second size. All right? Because we like saving money here. All right. Other than that, that's all I've sort of got to give to you at the moment. So the quilt along starts in shortly. I say in about 2 weeks because my kids are actually going on school holidays, and I don't know how much screaming you want to hear in the background of 2 small children, 1 8 and the other 4. Because I do not know what profanities they're going to come out with. So yeah, so roughly probably close to the end of their school holidays, we'll be online actually doing sewing. So I will be asking you soon what everyone's times are like. Do you want nighttime where you are? Do you prefer morning, during the day? Do you prefer just to go back and look at the video later on? Which I think most are going to end up doing that, because I think a lot of you are from the US, some from Canada. I know there's a couple of Aussies here. So exciting. So yeah, other than that, the next video we're going to do is with Catalina from Quilt Inc. So she's got a few features there that she's going to show us, and a few different ways to be able to colour in the skull. Whereas I try to show you in a clunky way how to use the program with very little experience. She'll be able to show you a lot more. So if you have any questions, pop them at the bottom of the video and we can go through them with her as well. Okay, thank you.